From the Presidential Palace, Manila, Dateline Malacañang.
Good day. Radio Pilipinas World Service can also be heard on shortwave broadcast through the shortwave facilities of the United States Agency for Global Media, or Voice of America, on the following shortwave frequencies: 15.640 MHz, 17.750 MHz, and 21.720 MHz. I'm your host, Leo Magpayo, and this is Dateline Malacañang. Malacañang believes that the cancellation of former Ako Bicol Party List Representative Zaldi Co's passport played a major role in his arrest. According to Palace Press Officer Undersecretary Claire Castro, once an individual's passport is canceled, their chances of moving around freely become significantly limited. Last December 2025, President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. announced the cancellation of Co's passport, along with a directive to the Department of Foreign Affairs, or DFA, and the Philippine National Police, or PNP, to coordinate with Philippine embassies to ensure it could no longer be used and to help quickly determine his location. Castro also said she believes Co's arrest was, in her words, the work of a higher power, noting that God works in mysterious ways and that the time eventually comes when people who must face accountability are finally cornered. The Presidential Communications Office, or PCO official, assured that they will provide updates regarding Co following his arrest. Earlier, PCO Acting Secretary Dave Gomez has confirmed that the fugitive former lawmaker has been arrested in Prague for allegedly entering the Czech Republic without proper documents. In a statement, Gomez said, Co is now in Czech custody, with Philippine authorities coordinating closely with their counterparts to facilitate his immediate return to the country. President Marcos also announced the arrest on social media, assuring the public that Manila and Prague are working together to ensure all legal procedures are followed. Co, a former chair of the House Committee on Appropriations, has been linked to alleged irregularities in flood control projects. He was declared a fugitive after failing to submit to the jurisdiction of the Sandigan Bayan, which issued arrest warrants in November 2025 over supposed anomalies in a multi-million peso road dike project in Nawan, Oriental, Mindoro.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. marked the early hours of Friday with a heartfelt anniversary message for First Lady Liza Araneta Marcos, calling her his constant, as the couple celebrated 33 years of marriage. In a social media post accompanied by a collage of their photos, the president said they have walked through every season together, in family, in work, and everything in between. President Marcos thanked the First Lady for being steady, wise, and devoted to their family. The First Lady shared her own message online, saying they have built a life, raised a family, and kept the love alive 33 years strong. According to the President's official website, the couple married on April 17, 1993 at the San Francesco Convent in Fiesole, Italy. The first couple have 3 sons: Ilocos Norte 1st District Representative Sandro Marcos, Joseph Simon, and William Vincent.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Thursday vowed to widen the rollout of government rice distribution programs as he led the ceremonial release of rice subsidies to Manila residents under the Biyayang Bigas para sa Maynila initiative. Each beneficiary received 10 kilos of rice, part of efforts to cushion households from the economic impact of tensions in the Middle East. The president said the program will be expanded nationwide to ensure families have access to basic food needs. Funded by the Office of the President, the initiative has released about 286 million pesos to the Manila city government and will run for 6 months, benefiting 80,000 families, including transport and service workers considered most vulnerable to rising costs.
Itong programa na ito ay aming ginawa dahil ay talagang tinutugunan natin ang lalong-lalo na lahat ng mga kababayan nating nangangailangan ng lahat ng mga iba't ibang bagay. Ngunit ang nangunguna dyan ay yung pagkain. At sa pagkain, tayo mga Pilipino ay pag pinag-usapan ng pagkain, kailangan bigas. At yung ulam, siguro mas madali na yun. Basta't may bigas, buhay na tayo. Kaya ginawa po namin ay gumawa tayo ng programa para nga tiyakin na lahat ng ating mga kababayan ay kahit papaano may kinakain.
That was Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Dateline Malacañang.
The Philippine government is keeping long-standing foreign ownership limits in key industries, even as it pushes reforms to attract more investments. President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. has signed Executive Order or EO number 113, releasing the 13th Regular Foreign Investment Negative List, which outlines where foreign participation is restricted under the Foreign Investments Act. The updated list keeps several sectors fully closed to foreign ownership, including mass media, cooperatives, private security agencies, and small-scale mining. Foreign equity remains capped at 25% for private recruitment and defense-related construction and at 30% for advertising. A broader set of industries, such as public utilities, natural resource exploration, private land ownership, commercial fishing, and certain education and procurement activities, retain the 40% foreign ownership ceiling mandated by law. The list also reflects recent reforms, allowing up to 100% foreign ownership in select telecommunications operations under the amended Public Service Act, subject to reciprocity rules. Full foreign participation in some renewable energy projects also remains allowed. Meanwhile, List B continues to restrict foreign involvement in sensitive sectors like firearms, gambling, and micro and small domestic enterprises to protect national security and local industries. EO 113 will take effect 15 days after publication in the Official Gazette or a newspaper of general circulation.
Dateline Malacañang.
Malacañang has declared April 17th a special non-working day in the municipality of Bolinao, Pangasinan Province in celebration of the Mangunguna Festival, a major annual event that draws thousands of tourists to the coastal town. Under Proclamation number 1212, the palace said the declaration allows residents to fully participate in the festivities honoring Bolinao's fishing heritage. The Mangunguna Festival, also known as the Fisherman Festival, highlights the community's deep cultural ties to the sea and its vital role in local livelihood and tourism. Acting Executive Secretary Ralph Recto signed the proclamation on April 13th by authority of President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. The annual festival is among Bolinao's biggest tourism drivers, featuring street dances, cultural shows, and activities that pay tribute to the town's fisherfolk. The special holiday is expected to boost local participation and support the municipality's tourism and economic activities.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. has appointed former Armed Forces of the Philippines or AFP Chief Eduardo Oban Jr. as the country's new National Security Advisor following the resignation of Secretary Eduardo Año. Presidential Communications Office Undersecretary and Palace Press Officer Claire Castro announced the appointment during a palace briefing, saying Oban will now take the lead in shaping and coordinating the country's national security priorities. Reading a statement from Malacañang, Castro said, "The President is confident that Oban's extensive experience will ensure steady and capable leadership in safeguarding the nation and maintaining continuity across the government's security efforts." Oban, a member of the Philippine Military Academy class of 1979, brings decades of experience in military operations, defense planning, and national security management. He previously served as Deputy Chief of Staff for Plans, or J5, and headed the Visiting Forces Agreement Commission. Malacañang also confirmed that Año has chosen to retire from public service after decades in both the military and government. The palace expressed gratitude for his dedicated and distinguished service, citing his contributions to strengthening the national security framework, advancing counter-terrorism initiatives, and improving coordination across the security sector amid shifting regional and global challenges. According to the palace, Año's leadership played a key role in maintaining stability and protecting the welfare of Filipinos.
Dateline Malacañang.
The Philippines is reaffirming its security partnership with Australia, with Defense Secretary Gilberto Teodoro Jr. saying Manila will fully cooperate to help keep the Indo-Pacific region stable and secure. Teodoro issued the statement after Australian Deputy Prime Minister and Defense Minister Richard Marles unveiled Australia's National Defense Strategy, or NDS 2026, a plan that reorients the country's defense posture toward the challenges emerging in the Indo-Pacific. The strategy includes an integrated investment program that significantly boosts defense spending over the next decade. Teodoro noted that the Philippines will work closely with Australia under a framework anchored on global rules, international norms, and the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, or UNCLOS. He added that the Philippines will join Australia and other like-minded partners in strengthening regional stability through collective deterrence. Australia is among 7 countries participating in this year's Balikatan exercises, which run from April 20th to May 8th. More than 17,000 troops from the Philippines, the United States, Australia, Japan, Canada, France, and New Zealand are taking part in the large-scale drills. Teodoro said the new Australian strategy will further deepen the 80-year defense partnership between Manila and Canberra. He also expressed readiness to discuss specific areas of cooperation with Marles in the coming days.
Dateline Malacañang.
A senior Philippine Navy official is calling China's denial of the cyanide incident near BRP Sierra Madre in Ayungin Shoal part of Beijing's ongoing deceptive messaging in the West Philippine Sea or WPS. Rear Admiral Roy Vincent Trinidad, the Navy's spokesperson for the WPS, said it is expected that China would reject any information released by the Philippines, even when backed by evidence gathered through the government's transparency initiative. Trinidad stressed that the Philippines does not manufacture stories to favor its position. He explained that the cyanide bottles were seized last year, and authorities took time to investigate and verify the incident before making it public. He said the disclosure was meant to show Filipinos what, according to Philippine officials, the Chinese Communist Party has been doing within Philippine waters. A senior National Security Council official earlier confirmed that the Navy confiscated cyanide bottles from Chinese sampans or small boats in February 2025 and again in October 24, 2025.
Dateline Malacañang.
In other news, Interior Secretary John Vic Remulla has revealed that fugitive businessman Charlie Atong Ang was sighted in Calabarzon less than 2 weeks ago, and that authorities narrowly missed capturing him. In a television interview, Remulla confirmed that Ang was tracked to Region 4A, but operatives arrived just a day too late. He earlier disclosed that Ang had slipped past arresting teams but did not identify the location at the time. Calabarzon covers the provinces of Cavite, Laguna, Batangas, Rizal, and Quezon. According to Remulla, Ang has been moving cautiously and is believed to be traveling with only a small group. Ang is wanted on non-bailable warrants issued by courts in Laguna and Batangas for kidnapping and serious illegal detention in connection with the disappearance of 34 cockfight enthusiasts. 20 of his co-accused are already under police custody. The Department of the Interior and Local Government, or DILG, has placed a 20 million peso reward for information leading to Ang's arrest, one of the largest bounties offered in recent years, as authorities intensify efforts to track him down.
Dateline Malacañang.
And finally, the Philippine government has welcomed home another group of Filipinos affected by tensions in the Middle East. 26 overseas Filipino workers, or OFWs, and 4 of their family members arrived safely from Dubai on April 16th, where they were received by teams from the Department of Migrant Workers and the Overseas Workers Welfare Administration, or OWA. DMW and OWA personnel, together with other government agencies, immediately provided the returnees with assistance, including financial aid, medical support, temporary shelter, reintegration services, and help in processing their documents before they travel back to their home provinces. Officials said the latest arrival is part of the government's ongoing efforts to bring home Filipinos seeking safety amid the continuing unrest in the region. The DMW also reaffirmed that support operations will continue, following the directive of President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. to ensure the welfare of all affected Filipino workers.
Dateline Malacañang.
Before we conclude our program, Radyo Pilipinas World Service of the Presidential Broadcast Service can be heard over the following shortwave frequencies: 15.640 MHz, 17.750 MHz, and 21.720 MHz. Radyo Pilipinas World Service is also live on audio streaming. Just download Evox PBS Receiver on your Google Play Store or the App Store from your Apple phone. You can also visit our Facebook page and YouTube channel. Just type in and search for Radyo Pilipinas World Service. Kindly subscribe, like, and share our posts as well. And that concludes this edition of Dateline Malacañang. For Radyo Pilipinas World Service, this is Leo Magpayo. Good day and stay safe.
From the Presidential Palace, Manila, Dateline Malacañang.